Has anyone ever told you just move more? Here's what you've been missing. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to work with your pain, not against it. These aren't your usual typical movement tips. These are real solutions that work when regular activities aren't possible. So please stay with me because you're about to discover how to make daily movement actually work for you. Greetings. It's nice to see you again. And to those here for the first time, you're very welcome. Here's a quick but important note to check with your healthcare provider before trying any new movement program because everyone's pain is different, so getting personalized guidance really matters. Today, I want to share two inspiring stories about people who found their way back to movement even when it seemed impossible. Their journeys might look different from yours, but their discoveries could help light your path forward. First up is Stephanie, a 45-year-old event planner whose work requires constant attention to detail and long days coordinating venues, vendors, and clients. 3 years ago, her fibromyalgia made even getting out of bed feel like climbing a mountain. The pain was everywhere. Walking through venue sites for upcoming events became nearly impossible, and standing for hours during events felt like torture. She remembers people kept telling her to exercise, but they just didn't understand that some days even lifting her arms to work on her laptop hurt. Stephanie's breakthrough came when she stopped thinking about exercise and started thinking about movement. She began with just 30 seconds of gentle stretching in bed each morning. I wasn't trying to push through the pain, she explained. Instead, she listened to her body signals over time. Those 30 seconds grew into 2 minutes and then 5. She was then motivated to try exercising in a pool. She discovered stretching activities in a heated pool gave her the freedom to move without fighting gravity. The warmth and the buoyancy made such a difference. She shared that for the first time in years, she could move without fear. Now she schedules site visits during her best hours and has learned to delegate physical tasks during events. Let's move on now to Sean, a 59-year-old programmer whose chronic migraines used to keep him isolated in dark rooms for days. Working at a computer all day meant constant exposure to bright screens and eye strain. The thought of any physical activity when he was getting warning signs of a migraine seemed absurd. But Sean learned something very fascinating. Very gentle movements could sometimes help prevent his migraines from escalating. I started with simple neck stretches and shoulder rolls when I felt the first warning signs, he explained. Sometimes it would actually stop the migraines from becoming full blown. He worked with his physical therapist to develop a set of movements that were safe even on his worst days. And that's really important that he did work with his physical therapist. He now takes regular breaks from coding to do these movements and has adjusted his workspace with anti-glare screens and proper lighting. So here's what both Stephanie and Sean discovered and what you need to know. It's important to start smaller than you think, much smaller. Success isn't measured in miles run or weights lifted. Success might be just gentle arm circles when you're sitting in your favorite chair. And the timing matters. Both found that short movement sessions, even just 2 or 3 minutes, spread throughout the day, work better than trying to do longer sessions. And the third thing they learned, every day is different. Some days movement might mean gentle stretching in bed. Other days it might mean a short walk around the block. Both learn to adapt their judgment based on their body. Now let's talk about practical steps that you can take. First, keep a simple movement journal for 1 week. When are your pain levels typically lower? That's your window of opportunity. Maybe it's the first thing in the morning or after a warm shower. Second, choose 2 tiny movements that feel safe. It could be ankle rotations while watching TV and shrugging your shoulders. You could try that also when you're standing there waiting for your coffee to brew. The third thing is to celebrate every single time you include movement in your day. This isn't about pushing harder and doing more. It's about consistency and kindness to yourself. Remember what Stephanie says. Now movement isn't about fighting my body anymore. It's about having a conversation with my body. And as Sean puts it, I learned that movement doesn't have to be all or nothing. Some days less is more. You might be thinking, well, my pain is different. And you're right, it is. That's why it's crucial to work with healthcare providers who understand chronic pain to develop a movement plan that's right for you. Before we wrap up, here's your takeaway. Movement with chronic pain isn't about pushing through or forcing yourself to just do it. It's about finding what works for your body. It's about starting incredibly small and building a relationship with movement that feels safe and sustainable. That's really important. So thank you for spending some time with me today. And remember, your journey with movement is unique to you. So please be patient with yourself. Celebrate small wins and keep exploring what feels possible. So it's bye for now, and I'm wishing you a comfortable week.